All right, here we go.
Then cheers.
Cheers. Oh, it's got a little bit of a bite to it.
Oh yeah. So this one is a little bit higher. It said that it's like it's 18 to 19% alcohol.
Oh, nice.
So
We're going to
get higher.
Just completely smashed drinking this.
That's why I knew this was going to be good for you. And you picked it, and I looked. I was like, yeah, you're going to like this one.
Yeah.
For sure. This is Shiboritate Osake Gentei Hin from Matsubishu, or is it Shobishu? I don't know. But it was also made in February, which is why it has a bit of like sweetness to it.
Yeah.
So I found that like actually for me, I really like sake that's rested about half a year.
Yeah.
And that's when it gets like a lot of sweetness. So even this one, I like this one.
Yeah. No, this is good.
Yeah. So you said you wanted to talk today about?
I want to talk about garbage cans for a little bit because I'm sure I'm not the only one who experiences this, but let's say you're drinking with some friends outside, maybe in Shibuya or something, and you guys both buy some drinks from the konbini, and you're drinking, you finish your drink, and then you're looking for a spot to throw something away, and suddenly, there's just no garbage cans anymore.
No garbage cans. That was like one of the biggest issues I had when I first moved here that no one told me about.
No.
Because like I would buy stuff from a konbini and it's great. Wonderful. I got a nice drink and I got like some onigiri stuff. Well, great. Where's a trash can? Where can I throw it out? Oh, I can't find one. I'll walk a little bit more. Never found one.
They don't exist.
Yeah.
I will say probably in the past 10 years, they've gotten better at allowing you to throw away pet bottles.
Yeah.
Because now if you go to like a vending machine or something, they'll have like the little pet bottle area.
But not normal trash.
But not normal trash, man. And it is understandably, I get the reasoning for why there's no trash cans here, but man, it is so frustrating.
Yeah.
Like, so do you know the reason why there's no?
So people said it was because it's like an anti-terrorism measure or something.
Yeah. So that's apparently where it started, and apparently like train stations were attacked a long time ago.
Oh by the Shinrikyo people.
Yeah.
So like that's something that I just don't understand because like okay, it happened in a train station. But train stations are the only places where they have garbage cans now.
It's kind of ironic, isn't it?
Yeah. I guess you could see what's inside of it because they're clear now.
Yeah.
But like, why can't we have them outside?
Yeah, it's a really, I'll tell you the time where I have like the most frustrating time is, it's usually when I'm like riding the subway.
Yeah.
And I'll go get like Starbucks or something, right, in the train station.
Yeah.
And I'll drink my drink, and then I'll be sitting around in Subway, or in the Subway, not Subway, the restaurant.
Yeah.
I'll be sitting around in the Subway, and I'll go, okay, I need to throw this away. I'm done. So logically, I just immediately go for the bathroom.
Yeah.
Because like you're just programmed to know that there's a garbage can in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And then you get into the train station bathroom, and there's no garbage, and you're just like.
Yeah. Well, it's weird. So like I went to I just got back from a week in Hokkaido and we went on a bus tour.
Yeah.
That was literally from 7:30 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Yeah.
So the whole time, right? And we went to all these places and they said there are no trash cans on the way, so please
so you just have to keep
all of your trash. Which was kind of a lie because when we went to the Asahiyama Dobutsuren, the zoo, they did have some trash cans there. I saw 3.
You're just like unloading everything in your backpack.
Yeah, so like but they did say like, okay, so instead please bring your garbage home, which is funny because because there's no like garbage cans anymore, that's kind of become common etiquette where you take your trash home and you dispose of it by yourself, which is unheard of in the States.
Yeah.
But that's actually a really nice policy, I think. Like, do you remember when what was it? I think it was like the Soccer World Cup or something like that, where the Japanese people went to root for their team and their team lost and they took all the trash home.
Yeah, there's like the really famous picture of the people like cleaning up after the game's done.
Yeah, dude, that was like, I really wish we did that, the people in the States did that.
Yeah, it's kind of embarrassing when, like another country comes in to watch their team and then they pick up all your trash.
Yeah, right. Yeah. No, dude, but I mean, so I've heard that actually having trash cans around makes it more more dirty.
True.
But have you noticed how in Tokyo, like the only places that have garbage cans outside are, do you know where they are? Like where have you seen garbage cans in Tokyo?
Parks.
Oh, you've seen them in parks?
Yeah, Yoyogi Koen has like a whole bunch of like trash cans on right in the entrance.
Yoyogi Park has them.
Yeah.
Okay. In front of Shibuya Station and Harajuku area.
Oh yeah.
Those are the only places I know that have trash cans.
Yeah.
Shibuya, right?
Yeah.
Because probably that's like where all the foreigners go or something.
Yeah, and I would say there's like when I think of like outdoor drinking in Tokyo, my first thought is Shibuya. Because like you go to Shibuya and every night, doesn't matter which day of the week it is, there's always people after hours out just drinking, especially in front of the Don Quixote.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, so one thing that's like was really weird for me because I came here and I didn't know any foreigners. I don't really have many foreigner friends. Like right now, my two foreign friends are you and Andy, right? Well, I have another friend, Bryce, who showed me this. But I would go out drinking with Bryce sometimes, and he would always take me to the Famima in Sentagai in Shibuya.
Yeah.
And we would buy like strong zeros, and we would just drink outside of the 7-Eleven. Like we would walk out the doors, take 2 steps, and we just chill there drinking. I didn't realize like all the foreigners do that. Yeah. Like it's not really many Japanese people, but just the foreign people hanging out there.
It's caught on recently. Yeah. Actually, I was in Musashi Kosugi on Saturday night.
Okay.
And I was really surprised that that place is crowded at night.
Yeah, it is.
And it's like we were the only
on
foreigners.
The weekends.
Yeah. We were the only foreigners there. It's all filled with like 20-year-olds. Yeah. So I think that culture has been passed on to like young people here in Japan. Yeah. But yeah, it's 100% right though. If you go to Shibuya, it's like literally all foreigners hanging out there.
Yeah. And it's just like it was actually a good way to like network and like get to know people just chilling outside.
Dude, I completely agree. I'm still kind of up in the air whether or not I want to go to Shibuya for Halloween this year. But in the past I used to go to Halloween every year in Shibuya, and a lot of my friends that I'm still friends with today, I met from there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's just a ton of people out there, man, and it's like it's a very chilled atmosphere. Like I think as a foreigner, I feel uncomfortable going to Izakaya by myself. If I'm in a group, like it's fine.
Yeah.
But it feels strange for me to go by myself because they're not the way Izakaya are made, they're not really designed to like meet new people.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you have your own isolated area and you get food and drinks sent to you and you kind of talk with your friends. Whereas I think most foreigners are kind of used to like a pub atmosphere where it's like it's a very open area and you can kind of mingle around with other people.
Yeah.
And so I think that outdoor drinking has kind of evolved for that desire.
Actually, it's really interesting that you say that because, that's totally true. Because, like, Izakaya is all for, with your in-group, you're just hanging out with your people. But I know, like, people use dating apps all the time now. But when I was younger, like,
when I was a wee lad,
back before there was Tinder, like, we would just hang out, and like we would go to bars and just connect with people and just chat and hang out with people there.
Yeah.
And I guess like you can still do that at British pubs here. And I think a lot of people go to British pubs for that. But it is just, it's different. It's like when you want to just get some drinks and hang out with new people, you don't go to Izakaya,
Yeah. And it's kind of funny because I don't know how it is in Europe, but America is very strict on outdoor drinking.
Yeah, it's only America.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
You can drink outdoors in Europe?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh man, that's so nice.
Yeah.
It's so funny the rules that America has for outdoor drinking because it's like it's okay to do it as long as you're drinking it in an unknown cup.
Yeah.
Like the red Solo cups, for example.
Or a brown paper bag.
Or a brown paper bag. So it's like it's still kind of legal, but it's a little silly. But so you don't really see that kind of drinking culture, at least in America where I'm from. And then over here, it's like, it's all the people I talk to are like Americans or Europeans and everything.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's like, so just just talking about like the difference in drinking cultures, because I didn't grow up. I was born and I spent the first 8 years of my life in Germany.
Yeah.
And I remember because when I was like around 8 years old or something, and my parents would go to a bar, they'd go to a beer garden or something.
Yeah.
And if I wanted to drink like a sip of the beer, they'd be like, yeah, sure, a sip of the wine. Here, Arthur, why don't you taste this? And then I remember we came to the States and we went to a bar or a place where you could get some drinks. And said, hey, can I taste that? They're like, no. It's like, why? We're in America now. So what?
Yeah.
The rules are different.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's different. But, it's really funny because actually where I'm from in like the Boston area, that was where the temperance movement came out, which was like the anti-drinking movement. So,
thanks for that.
You're welcome. No, but what was really funny is, so like a lot of, this is back in like the mid 1800s or whatever, a lot of people were like, alcohol is the devil's drink. People should be drinking water. So what they ended up doing is they ended up creating like small water fountains where people could congregate and drink like water as it was coming out of the fountain and stuff like that.
Yeah.
No wonder they didn't catch on. But what's funny is actually near my house, when I'm walking to the train station, I pass by this like small stone structure that looks like a fountain. It turns out it was one of those fountains.
Oh, really?
And now it's flanked on both sides by really busy roads, so no one can like stand there, and it's not running, of course, but it's like, yeah, don't drink alcohol. Drink some water, guys. Yeah. Outside in the rain.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why drinking culture in America is just so strict.
That's so funny.
I kind of like it here though, where it's like if you're walking in the train station and you're drinking, that's kind of bad form, but you can drink outside. It's not necessarily a horrible thing here.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how it is in other parts of Japan, but I would imagine it's probably about the same. But it's really popular. Like it's really caught on with like kind of having like konbinis and just sitting outside the konbini and drinking, and it's oh man, I honestly I prefer doing that over going to a place.
Yeah, it's funny, like I really enjoy that too. Like okay, I'm not sure if this is okay for me to say, but when I was a student here and I lived in Nakano, there was a temple near my house. And I remember I did this with Andy a couple times too. Yeah. Like we would get a beer from the 7-Eleven or the Famima that was nearby, and then we would go to the temple and sit on the steps when no one was around, and we just drink and chat and stuff.
Oh man.
Yeah, but just
bad boy.
But there's something about like just outside, just chilling outside.
No, it's really comfortable. I do the same thing. I go to Yokohama
You go to the temples there and drink.
Well, actually, I go to Chinatown. Down there, and there's a lot of like temples and stuff in Chinatown, and there's a specific one that we don't actually drink in the temple, but it's this kids playground park, and like it's like right next to this temple, and so like we kind of have our backs to the temple and we're sitting in this park, and man, it's just really nice. Like I really like the atmosphere, and it's you kind of get the best of both worlds from like izakaya and pubs, because depending on where you're at, it can be really private, or you can be wide open, and you can just be bouncing around from group to group and talking to people, and you really meet some interesting people.
Do you have any good stories about that?
Yeah. So I met the chef of my local sushi restaurant where I live. He was just hanging out of a 7-Eleven.
Really?
Yeah, and he was really drunk. So I was coming back from work, and I think it was like 9 or 10 at night, and I walked out of the Family Mart that I went into, and he's like, "Whoa, are you American?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, that's cool, man. I like studied in America." And I'm like, "Oh, cool. Yeah, that guy inside is a jerk. I don't really like that guy." And it's like spent like the last 10 minutes talking crap about the Family Mart guy. I'm like, dude, I don't even know who that guy is, but all right, cool. And so I found out information of him. He was actually the chef at the there's a sushi restaurant like right outside my my train station.
Yeah.
And yeah, I got like a couple free meals like going in there.
That's cool,
it was really nice. I mean, it's a really local izakaya, but yeah, it's like I said, you just meet random people, and it's like sometimes it ends up being really beneficial meeting those people.
Yeah, for me, I've had like those kind of experiences, not outside, but it's been in Hub. You know, like, so one of the reasons I like going to Hub is actually most of the time, like I like to go to Hub alone. Yeah, because I like to be around people, but I don't want to interact with people because I'm a sociopath like that. Yeah, you know. So like I'll just go and just chill and like just think or like read or do some writing and stuff.
Sure.
But there were a couple times when some guys talked to me. One guy who was like an exec in Expedia. Yeah. Like talked with me and we exchanged LinkedIn and stuff. But I don't really care about Expedia, so I didn't do anything. But then there was this other guy who his name was Trevor. He's from New Zealand. And he was visiting Japan because he wanted to move here. Yeah. And he wasn't talking to anyone. He just started talking to me. Yeah. And he ended up coming back to Japan a couple more times and we hung out and just showed him around. He ended up staying in New Zealand, but yeah, like it was cool having those connections, you know? Yeah. It's tough to do that in like izakaya, you know, like traditional drinking.
Yeah, I think so too. I think and I have nothing against izakaya. I really like them.
Dude, they're great.
But I think it's just for me it feels like a very intimate atmosphere with izakaya. Like it feels like for me, like I'm either going there with coworkers or I'm going there with like really close friends. Yeah. So I feel like it's not that it's uncomfortable, but it's like going to a pub or going drinking outside is a little bit more casual. Yeah. Yeah. Whereas izakayas are like it's just it's way more intimate, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like really when you want to spend time with your buds, or like with people who are important to you, izakaya are great. Like I love it. I kind of wish you had that in the States, because like actually when you go to the States, everything is so big and so open, you know.
Yeah, it's a little bit too open. Yeah. I definitely agree. Like if we were to go out drinking in a bar, it's like we're kind of exposed to everybody else's conversations. So it's like we wouldn't have like, sounds weird, but we wouldn't have private moments. You know what I mean?
That does sound a bit weird, but
it does sound weird.
No, but so like if I could take like, so izakaya have like a specific status or situation, place, role in Japanese society, and in the States, if you were to have a similar thing, it would be like the brewery. Sure. Like, because you go there to get drinks and get food, spend time with your friends. Yeah. But it's really different because like the like breweries are super wide open spaces with like 30-foot ceilings, you know, and everything is so open plan and so large, and it's really big food, but you do have booths, so you do have a little bit of privacy. Not everything's really close together, but yeah, I wish in Japan we had more of those open plan things, and I wish in the States you had more of those izakaya style, like more intimate situations. Yeah, no kidding. So we're kind of talking a little bit about drinking culture in Japan versus in the States, but is there something else that you've noticed that's really different?
Like regarding that topic? Yeah. Okay. This isn't so much a different thing between Japan and America, more as me just becoming an old man. But I've noticed that QR code menus have started to become a real big thing. Have you noticed those in restaurants?
In here?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Here in Japan.
In the States too, though.
Oh, is it the same in the States?
Well, yeah, because of COVID stuff. Now they're
gotcha. Oh, I mean, that makes sense. What do you feel about those?
I mean, I think it's personally, I think it's convenient.
Yeah. I find them so tedious.
Really? Yeah. I guess it in the end it's cheaper for the restaurant.
Sure. I was actually having a conversation with my buddy yesterday. My friend came to visit from Seattle. Yeah. We're actually high school friends.
Oh, cool.
Or high school classmates. Yes, and I've got another buddy who lives in Osaka, so he took the Shinkansen up to meet us in Shibuya. So it was kind of like, it was really great. It's like all three of us were kind of reminiscing because we used to come to Japan together every summer.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So yeah, it was just really cool connecting with them again. But we were kind of talking about that because we went and had yakiniku in Shibuya, and the place we went to had a QR code menu, and we were kind of talking how, like, personally, I'm not a huge fan of the QR code menu because it was kind of fun, like developing kind of like a relationship with the waiter or waitress that was coming. You know, they could show up and you can kind of chit chat with them, and you could be like, okay, well, what do you recommend? What do you think is good on here? And with the QR code menu, it just feels a little bit impersonal.
Human aspect is gone.
Yeah, it's like, all right, here's your food, here's your drinks. Tell us when you need more things.
Yeah,
you know, that kind of stuff. So,
well, QR codes were invented in Japan. So
were they?
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Started here. Yeah, but so that's kind of like izakaya stuff. But what about like drinking culture, like how people drink here versus like in the States?
For sure, I think another thing that you'll notice here is I think there's a stronger emphasis on either mixed drinks or just random beer, because you'll get like the Nama beer here, right? That's really popular.
Yeah.
But, and maybe this is just the Seattle in me talking, but if you took a person from Seattle and was like, hey, we're just going to drink crappy beer all night, they'd be like,
yeah,
how dare you?
Yeah.
Well, I only drink craft beer. And it's like, I was that way when I first came here too. I looked at Nama beer and like the Asahi Super Dry and Sapporo, and I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
This isn't craft beer. This isn't my special IPA that costs $15. Like, you know?
Well, it's funny that you say that, because like, especially when you go to the States and like you go to a sports bar or you go to like a brewery or whatever, if you just say like nama hitotsu, if you just say, I want a draft beer, it's like, well, which one? Because we have 6 on tap.
Yeah.
Like, which one do you want?
Yeah.
So like, there's definitely a lot more options when it comes to beer, because people do have that kodawari, they do have that preference, you know? So like, you like your IPAs. I think IPAs taste like butt. So I go for the lagers, or I go for the Sam Adams stuff, because that's how I roll, you know? And then you guys are like, whatever, you're too much of like a wimp to handle the IPAs. It's fine. It's whatever.
It's exactly what we think.
Yeah. I mean, that's how it is, because like, you guys can't handle bitter, you know? Do you know why IPAs even exist?
I do not.
So like, it's called India Pale Ale because it was about like England would try to ship beer to India to the military in India. Yeah. But it would always spoil. So they had to throw in a ton of preservatives, hops, to keep it, and it just made it super bitter. So at first it was like, sorry guys, this is crappy beer, but crappy beer is better than no beer, right? We just throw it chock full of preservatives. And now it's like, oh, I like this that. This is
my artisanal craftsman beer.
Like, seriously. Like, that's
funny.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was like, why do people like bitter beer? I just didn't get it.
Yeah.
Being from Germany, you know?
That's so funny.
But yeah, one thing though that I was surprised, because, you know, I told you when we went to Otaru, we went to that beer festival, and every Thursday they have a nomi hodai for 3 hours. 2,000 yen, dude. 2,000 yen. So I was thinking we need to go up there, right?
That would be so good. Like, I didn't get to experience that. That would have been fantastic.
Yeah, it's on the menu.
The beer's so good.
Yeah. But that's the thing, like in the States, there's no concept of nomi hodai.
Oh, they would be out of business.
Yeah.
I completely, like, it blows my mind. I do not, and I feel like the only way restaurants here in Japan are able to sustain nomi hodai is because I feel like there's 2 types of people who do nomi hodai.
Yeah.
First of all, there's the person who's like, I'm doing nomi hodai.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take as much drinks as I can, and I'm gonna get my money's worth, right? But then there's the other person who's also paying the same price for nomi hodai, but are getting like 2 drinks.
Yeah.
You know, and that's fine. They want to do that, but I feel like that balances things out.
Yeah.
Because, man, if everyone was like trying to get their money's worth of nomi hodai, it wouldn't exist.
Yeah, well, I feel like, so in the States, right? First of all, you have this Yeah, this culture of if I'm doing like an all-you-can-eat buffet, I'm doing it.
Yeah,
like, that's why everyone's so big, you know.
Yeah,
like because you want to get your money's worth, right?
Mm-hmm.
But also just people can drink a ton.
Yeah,
you know, like in Japan, there's so many people who are allergic and they can't drink that much.
Sure.
So it works out because you don't end up drinking that much. But yeah. I know why. I remember the first time when someone told me like nomi hodai when I first got here, and I didn't know what the word hodai meant.
Yeah.
And I looked up it and it was like all you can, unlimited. And I was like, wait, so I can order as many drinks I want in this time? Like, yeah. Like, can I do 10? Like, yeah, you have to do one at a time though. Oh, really? Like, they're not going to stop me? No. Okay, I'm going to test this out. And then I just went crazy, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean. Yeah, if it was definitely like in the States or in Germany, they'd be out of business so fast.
Yeah, you know? Exactly. And you do kind of notice like there's some restaurants that'll kind of catch on to somebody who's really kind of taking them for a ride, and they'll
go slower.
They'll go a little bit slower. They'll be like, okay, I got your beer.
Wait 5 minutes.
5 minutes later, they show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's funny because it's like, so you have, this is something that's kind of interesting for me too about drinking culture. I feel like, well, in the States, in like party culture in college especially, there's a big emphasis on getting drunk. But I feel like I've also never been to a business nomikai here. Maybe you could talk to me about that. But like, I feel like there's an emphasis on nomi hodai of, instead of like, hey, let's drink some good beer, it's more like, hey, let's just loosen up and get drunk.
Well, definitely if you're going to like a kind of company enkai.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. That's like the drinking party at a company. So my school is a private company, so we do that too. We used to do that too. Yeah, people just get blitzed. They get absolutely drunk.
Yeah.
And I think that culture's kind of died out recently though.
Oh yeah, I heard recently that like the government of Japan or like some organization is trying to increase alcohol consumption.
Well, so yes and no. They're trying to reduce company mandatory drinking.
Okay.
That's starting to become kind of taboo.
Okay.
However, at the same time, the government's also come out and said, "Young people, you guys need to drink more."
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, well, how?
Yeah.
So
it's tough because it's like you're working all day, so you don't have.
I just
so it's
keep
okay,
going.
Man.
Don't make fun of me for spilling.
I didn't see anything. I haven't seen anything, man.
You paused. You made it awkward. You made it awkward.
You're golden, man. You're golden, man. Don't worry about it. So the for everyone who's just listening to this, Austin spilled his sake on the table.
See, now you gotta circle around and freaking throw me under the bus again.
Sorry, man. It was just perfect.
I'm gonna cover it up now. I'm ashamed. I'm just gonna slowly sweep it over this.
You're just gonna sweep it over onto your pants.
Onto my pants. You can't see my pants, so it's okay.
Dude, next time we should definitely not do 18-19% for sure. No, but so that's interesting because like we talked about for you, right? So you're in kind of, I don't want to say corporate culture, but you work a regular job with coworkers, and I'm a lone wolf. I just kind of hang out by myself.
Yeah, okay, lone wolf. Yeah, I'm a wage slave. It's okay. No, I don't okay to say it.
No, so to be honest, when I was thinking
I'm a lone wolf.
No.
I'd make my own rules.
No. So when I was thinking of lone wolf, I actually had in my mind like Zach Galifianakis when he was talking about being a lone wolf in The Hangover. Do you remember when he reads his speech?
We're blood brothers.
Yeah, right. He tries to be super cool, but he sounds like an idiot. Like that's how I saw myself. Okay, I wasn't trying to be cool or anything. But I'm always on my own, so I don't really know much about that kind of nomikai culture or anything like that. But
it's I mean, you go by Vegas rules with nomikai culture.
Really?
It's like you have the saying like what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Yeah.
And it's like what happens in the nomikai stays in the nomikai.
Really?
Because you'll see some really inappropriate stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be people taking their shirts off. There'll be the president or principal or whatever, like higher up people will maybe say inappropriate things or be friendly with people. And you'll have like principal like pick you up and be like, all right, let's go serve everyone drinks, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's really like, I would say for a lot of foreigners, it's really kind of off-putting.
Yeah.
That's actually one of the things that when I was in the JET program when I first came here, they told us about. They're like, hey, be aware that this exists and understand that this is part of the culture here.
Yeah.
And the number one like kind of bad thing that you could do at like an enkai or a nomikai is talk about it at the next day at work.
Yeah.
Because like once it's done is done. You don't talk about what happened and that's it.
Okay.
Right. So it's got actually kind of surprisingly strict rules to it.
Yeah. Like unwritten rules, right?
Yeah.
It's funny because like in the States, you don't really have that. You know, if you like, there's no concept of a nomikai, right?
Well, you don't hang out with your coworkers in the States, really.
Sometimes you do, but if you do, it's like the people you're genuinely friends with.
Yeah. Like you're not going to go like Steve in accounting. You're not going to go out drinking with him and like, a few other guys because there's like, I don't know who these people are. Why would I go drinking
with them? It's not a group
them?
activity. It's just you go with your buds, right?
Yeah.
And it's just the whole purpose really is to like cool off and stuff. And so that was actually one of the things that was really kind of off-putting for me.
Yeah.
Was like, wait, I have to drink with people I don't really care about.
Yeah.
In addition to my working stuff. Like, so it's just a question. So when you do nomikai, do you pay for it?
Sometimes you'll pay for it. Often there's kind of like an unwritten rule of like the oldest person kind of fronts the bill.
Yeah. Senpai.
Yeah. But it kind of depends on the situation. Definitely at an enkai, you're usually not paying. It's usually the company that's paying.
Yeah, right.
I get that. So there's kind of like a difference. You'll have like levels of like nomikai. So like enkai is kind of like traditional, very structured drinking party with your coworkers. Nomikai is kind of like a more casual version of that. So, but yeah, it really depends. And I mean, honestly, I enjoy them. For me, it's like as a teacher, I don't get much opportunity to talk to my other coworkers all that much. Like I'll talk to the English department, but like there's a few teachers who are like in different departments that are around my age.
Yeah.
There's one guy at my school. He's the social studies teacher, and he's 2 years younger than me, but we both entered the school about the same time. And I actually really like talking with him. And he's really fun to have conversations with. We talk about history in Japan, kind of like we share stories and stuff. And it's a really good time. But if I didn't have those drinking parties, I would never have any opportunity to talk with him because both of us are busy during the day. So
and you guys are kind of like separated.
Yeah. And especially, because my school's organized into school years. So like I'm in third year high school.
Okay.
So I sit with all the third year high school teachers. So I get to talk with them a lot, but he's over in first year high school.
Okay.
So he's like 2 rows. He's like almost half the office length away.
Okay.
So it's like, just being able to talk to people who are kind of like outside your zone is kind of refreshing. So I really enjoy it.
Yeah, you get to like meet new people. It's funny, like so I remember one time when I went to Frankfurt with Natsumi and my dad.
Yeah.
We went to Oktoberfest later, but we stayed in Frankfurt first. So my dad, he used to be a headhunter in Frankfurt. So he would be the guy to find high-level execs for job positions in like Deutsche Bank or in like the big time banks in Frankfurt, right?
Yeah.
And so he would meet a lot of people. And I remember one time we went to a bar near my dad's apartment. Whenever he goes to Germany, he has this apartment that, by the way, what's amazing is he's had this apartment for like 20 years now.
He still has it.
And the rent has not gone up. So it's $500 a month for like what would be like $1,000 a month now.
Oh, man.
But because of German laws, you can't raise the rent.
Oh, that's a rule.
Yeah.
That's cool.
They also force all businesses to close on Sunday. Like nothing's open on Sunday.
That's extremely inconvenient.
I know. That's what my mom thought too.
Oh
like
my
Red
God.
Blood America. She hated it.
Oh God, that would drive me nuts.
But when I came to the States, I was like, wait, businesses are open on Sundays?
Yeah.
Why? Why are they open? We can go to the supermarket on Sunday? Why? Like it was just a totally different world. But anyways,
yeah.
So I went to this bar and my dad introduced me to like this lawyer guy and this real estate guy. These two German guys that he was really buddies, like he was really good buddies with, and we talked and we had great memories. I'm like, so yeah, Dad, how did you meet these guys? Like, yeah, I came to this bar like 6 years ago and they were there and we started talking, and now whenever I'm in the city, we just hang out to drink.
Yeah.
But it's funny because it's like, so in Japan, like it's still very much you hang out with people in your in group. Whereas like in the States or even in Germany, you go to a bar, it's more open. You're talking with people in your outer group,
Yeah.
And like personally for me as someone who doesn't have an in group because I'm working by myself, that kind of atmosphere is very easy for me to join. Like sometimes when I hear you talking about your nomikai, I'm like, man, I wish I could join your nomikai sometimes. But I can't because I'm soto. I'm not miyuchi, I'm soto right now.
Yeah.
So but yeah, I never experienced nomikai when I was working at your school.
Yeah, it kind of sucks that you joined during COVID, so like none of that was going on, and we had some stuff going on with our school. But it's not something I would want to do all the time because we used to have nomikai like almost every week when I first came here, and that just got a little bit overwhelming.
Yeah.
But it's really nice being able to talk with people that I normally don't talk to every now and then. So there's got to be a balance because there's definitely there's problems with some companies where they have forced nomikais.
Okay.
And I literally mean forced, like employees are forced to go to these. And not everyone enjoys it.
Yeah, I get it.
There's definitely a lot of people who are like show up there and will put in the bare minimum and like maybe they don't drink or something and that sucks for them. If they don't want to be there, then it's like it kind of that sounds like hell.
Yeah.
So I mean there's got to be a balance with it, and like I'm not a fan of like the forced idea behind it.
So for you, what would be like the ideal frequency of nomikai?
Once a month.
Once a month?
Yeah, once a month feels good.
Okay.
Maybe you could do like bi-monthly.
Okay.
But just enough to kind of check in with everybody and, have a couple drinks with someone. That feels nice.
Yeah.
For me, I'm not actually a huge drinker as crazy as that is.
Dude, because whenever we hang out, I
drink a ton, right? But I don't do it often.
Okay.
I wouldn't even say I drink once a week normally.
Really?
Yeah.
Because
I want to preface this by saying I'm not counting like us coming here and drinking for our show, but like meeting somebody and going drinking, I'm not going to decline it, but I typically don't go and drink that often. Probably like maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks.
Okay.
Is kind of where I'm at.
Yeah. So I have my in my mind, I see you going out twice a week at minimum.
Oh, my mom thinks I'm an alcoholic. It drives me nuts. I always talk to her and she's like, I wish you would drink less. I'm like, Mom, I don't drink that much.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because like for me, right? So I'm like at a stage in my life where I hardly drink at all. Like the only time when I drink now is really here.
Yeah.
Like this is the only time I drink. And so people are like, oh, Arthur, you must drink so much.
You alcoholic.
No, this is the only time. And we do this like once every 2 weeks,
Yeah.
Once every week, And it's just like, so I have other friends who definitely like to go out and drink at least twice a week, or 3 times a week. And maybe when I was younger, but
I just can't handle it these days, man.
Really?
Like I used to be able to recover from hangovers just like that. And now it's like,
dude, what about your wet socks theory? You told me about that.
They work. They work. Do not. Yui make fun of my wet socks.
Can you explain what the wet socks theory is?
Okay. All right. I'm going to educate the masses here. All right.
This is enlightening for me.
If you go drinking, the reason you have a hangover is primarily because you are dehydrated.
Yes.
So, if you drink water while you are drinking, And if you drink enough water, you will not have a hangover. That is proven scientific fact, right? For me, it's kind of a hassle to drink water while I'm drinking. Because I just don't want to, like, you have to pee a lot when you do that. Yeah. And it's like, it's a hassle. So your body temperature is regulated through your feet.
Okay.
That is, there's like a couple main areas in your body that will regulate your body temperature.
Just a question.
Okay.
So then why is it that I want to wear sandals all day? Because, like, instead of wearing shoes with socks and stuff, like wearing sandals, keeping my feet cooler, like, what's the purpose?
I don't know. Maybe you just like sandals, man.
No, but you said it helps to, like, regulate your temperature or something like that.
Yeah.
So, like, if I want to wear sandals all the time and not socks with, like, shoes and keep my feet warmer, then, like, what does that mean?
I don't know.
Okay, anyways, keep on going. I thought you had the science down.
Maybe you just like sandals. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Like, I like sandals. I like to wear them too. I'm lazy. I don't want to put on socks and shoes. Maybe that's where you're coming from. God, why do you got to bring other things into this? Let me describe my theory.
I'm just curious, man.
So okay. All right. So it's like your feet, and I'm using guy science here. I just want to preface this by saying I'm not a scientist. We're using guy talk, so half of this is half-assed. Okay, just preface this by saying that. But your feet and your ears are like kind of the two main points where you're going to regulate temperature, right? And your feet will also absorb a lot of moisture. So that's why if you go to sleep at night and you feel your feet in the morning, they're super dry, right? That's because
Do you feel your feet in the morning?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that a weird thing? Do you not feel your feet?
I don't really touch my feet in the morning.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I
just get up and I walk to the bathroom or whatever, get some water.
Fair enough.
Keep on going, it's okay.
But yeah, so like if you feel your feet in the morning, and it's not a weird thing to feel your feet, your feet will be super dry.
Okay.
That's like pretty much everybody whose feet will be dry in the morning, okay? Now, if you go out drinking in the night and you know you've drank too much, if you take your socks and you just soak them to the point where they're soaking wet in water, and then you put those socks on and you go into bed. Your bed will get wet from the socks. I'm just going to let that be known. It will get wet from the socks. But if you do that, you will not wake up with a hangover in the morning because your body will absorb. It will absorb the moisture.
You sound like you're from Boston now.
It'll absorb the moisture in those socks, and your socks will be super dry in the morning, and your feet will be dry, but your body will have taken in all that water, and you won't have a hangover. It works every time. I challenge you to try it. If you drink too much.
Yeah, I don't really drink too much, so I don't really have opportunities to try that.
It will work. It will 100% work. Okay. And I guarantee we're going to get somebody in the comments to be like,
this didn't work.
This didn't work. You didn't do it right.
It's fine. It's probably because you're like European or whatever like that. You know?
But no, seriously, try it though. It will work. I will stake my reputation behind it.
What I just do is like, so when I'm super drunk before I go to sleep, I'm like, you know what? I know I'm gonna have a hangover tomorrow, so I just guzzle down like 3-4 glasses of water.
Yeah,
right there, and that normally helps me a lot. And then like what happens is I'll wake up at like 5 a.m. and I'll have a bad headache.
Yeah,
so I just drink 3 more glasses of water. Then I sleep again, and then I wake up.
You don't have to do that if you have the wet socks, man.
Dude. But can I just tell you one of the things I hate most in the universe is wet clothes sticking to my skin. Like it is so like when I think about even now I want to puke a little bit when I think about wearing a shirt and jeans and socks and jumping into the ocean and coming out, I just feel so gross that I just want to puke, man. Like,
so funny.
I can't deal with like wet clothes clinging to my body. It's just the most disgusting feeling.
I filled that up. Be careful.
Dude, holy crap, you did.
Yeah. That's so funny because for me, I have a bad habit of sticking my clothes out too late in the night because I do laundry at night.
Well, okay, so in all fairness, you're gaijin, so you don't really know the tricks to air drying your clothes.
Is there tricks?
There are tricks. And Natsumi has shown me those tricks.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You ask Yui to show you those tricks.
Fair enough.
They were tricks, man.
But yeah, so I'll stick my clothes out at night, but then, because I've put off doing laundry, I've gotten better at doing laundry, and I do it every day now, but before, I used to do laundry like once a week, so I'd run out of clothes.
Yeah.
And then I'd have to pull like wet clothes to put on to go to work. And yeah, it's like wearing wet slacks into the train station was not fun.
No, man. That's like, if there are a few things that'll make me want to throw up, that's one of them. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But just, ugh.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So, but about that, it's funny. So I feel like, when people how do you feel now versus, because you're kind of in your school, you have some older people and you have some, thanks for,
we just got like a little smidge left. That's what I'm trying to.
No, that's good.
There we go.
That's good. Yeah. So in your school, right? So you have some younger people around your age, but you have some older people in like their 50s.
Yeah.
Right. So do you see like a difference in drinking culture between those two groups?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I feel like the younger crowd doesn't drink as much.
Yeah. Why do you think that is? Because I don't drink that much either.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's people who are just more conscious about their health.
Okay.
In general. I think there's also, so I think older generations having like nomikais was kind of their way of socializing with their friends. But I think younger people, and when I say younger people, I'm kind of thinking of like age 40 and below.
Yeah.
So not necessarily 20-year-olds. But I think younger people, they have access to social media, and they're familiar with that. So it's like we're in contact with our friends a lot more than people in their 50s and 60s.
Yeah, that's true.
So there's not as much of a need to go out and spend time drinking and chatting.
Yeah, because you're all
it's like,
talking online.
Yeah, because like if I want to talk to you about something, I'll just shoot you a line message, right?
Yeah, right.
But somebody who's like 60 years old probably isn't going to be using line all that much, and so drinking is it means a lot more. I think that's it.
Yeah, I've noticed actually, like in recent years, there's kind of been a revitalization or reviving of sake. Actually, so I feel like the older generation is really beer, but now when I talk to like specifically my students who are in their 30s, a lot of them are like, I like sake, I like to go to Nihon Shiba, and that's something that I like too. And it was funny because when I first came to Japan in 2013, no one really drank Nihonshu. It was kind of like,
it's a really new thing too.
Now it's coming back.
Yeah, I completely agree. I didn't start getting into Nihonshu until probably like 2 years ago. Yeah, before that it was like beer all the time.
Yeah, it's funny because it's called Nihonshu, Nihon no sake.
Yeah,
but people drink beer more than Nihonshu, which I understand why, but
it's definitely stronger.
Yeah. So it's tougher for people with like low alcohol tolerance to drink, but I like how now with like the younger generation, there's so like craft beer kind of gained an audience here. So like, in the States back maybe like 15 years ago, craft beer started to really take off with a lot of things like people really focused on that.
Yeah.
And in the States, because like beer is a German, British alcohol, so that really took off. But I feel kind of like in Japan, it started with craft beer, got kind of popular, and then it shifted towards sake.
Yeah.
And so now like sake is like the thing. So like I like that because I think sake is great.
Yeah. I mean, I like both. I like craft beer too. I'm a big fan of that. But I like alcohols that you're able to just make subtle changes and it'll completely change how the experience will be. And that's the cool thing about sake is you can just change a very slight thing.
Yeah.
It's even like just harvesting it at a different time in the year, because we were talking, this is in February.
Yeah.
It changes how it's going to end up tasting. And I think that's really cool. It makes it really fun.
I forget. So we've been to Orihara Shoten in Monzen Nakacho before, right?
Oh, yeah. Multiple times, man.
Yeah, right.
I love that place. Actually, Yui and I went there on our first date.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember because you asked me about that place.
We got super, super drunk, dude, and then went there. We actually, our first date, we met in Nakano.
Okay.
Yeah, which is really fun.
You're just pulling all like the places from my playbook.
Yeah, man. It worked out well. I mean, we're married. We have a kid now. So,
yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you made the right decision.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got just absolutely thrashed in Nakano. And then towards the end of it, I'm like, yeah, I remember my friend Arthur actually told us about this sake bar. And Yui's like, oh, I love sake. I was like, well, let's go then.
Yeah.
And so we went there, and it was only open for like 30 minutes. They were going to close 30 minutes later, but we got some drinks, and it was fun.
Yeah, dude. We have to go there again.
Dude, I am down anytime, man. It's so much fun. I love Mozen Nakacho.
Awesome. All right, so we're done with this. I'm done with mine. You're done with yours.
We have finished
in one episode, which is quite long, but
51-minute episode.
Holy shit.
Dude, it's crazy that it's been this long, right?
Yeah. Well, we'll probably cut it down, but this is yeah, I like talking a little bit more freeform today.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But definitely I need to drink some water after this. All right, man. I'll see you next time.
See you, man.